Double A ever get a girl with that rap? I mean, honestly.
That's what we're all wondering.
I just knew he would not charm Cindy Margolis, and he thinks he's going to. Right?
Well, he always... has he ever, though, charmed anyone?
Everybody says that whenever you see Double A, he's with unbelievable-looking women, but a lot of people insinuate that he pays them, like they're almost like prostitutes, but I couldn't believe that you could talk to a woman like that, and she likes it.
She didn't. She didn't even look at him. She knew she didn't like him.
He threw money at her like she was a whore.
I should be really worried because he came in just a few minutes ago and he said to me that he's hung out with Jim Florentine a lot and he's very happy for me now.
Yeah.
But does Jim really know him?
According to Double A, he knows him very well.
The Belz stopped by. Richard Belzer. He's going to do the news with us.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know what he's promoting. Let me see. See Richard Belzer this Thursday night, next Thursday night at 8 o'clock on Last Comic Standing. Oh, he's a judge on Last Comic Standing.
I see.
That's what he's promoting. By the way, tomorrow, the return of anal ring toss. Later this week, Winfred's money. And there is... I'm glad Richard's here because maybe he'll say a few words about George Carlin dying.
Absolutely.
And there's the Belz.
And could he be any skinnier? Is he going to disappear?
He is really... He's like a supermodel.
Wow.
There's nothing left of him.
What?
You sit out there?
Yeah.
Come on.
Why? I made you sit out there. I was in the middle of a date.
Yeah, but you said to be here
What,
at a
did you want
certain
to
time.
play?
I don't know if you remember who I am.
Did you tattoo your wrist?
Yeah, I did.
What did you put on there?
His wrist? A number?
But he didn't do it on his wrist. He did it on... Don't panic. Why did you tattoo that on your...
That's personal.
No, come on. And are you getting so skinny? You're almost like an anorexic
you know what?
woman.
Are you anorexic?
I'm the same. I weigh 140.
Do you eat anything?
I eat, yes.
What's going on? What are you worried about?
What do you mean? What am I worried about? Are we on camera?
You're the skinniest Jew I've ever seen.
Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Those have to be women's pants. They don't make men's pants that small.
Stop it.
He's
What do you weigh?
Auschwitz
Seriously, what do you weigh?
I'm out of the closet.
What do you weigh?
What time can you get here?
What do you weigh?
104. How are you, Howard?
You weigh 104?
I haven't seen you in so
No
long.
man weighs 140. Look, he's 5.
Actually, I used to be 138.
7 feet tall.
But I've been in France, so I put on a few pounds. You know what I mean?
You was 138 pounds. You was beautiful.
You know, whenever you say that, when you say that you were...
Look at my hands. What is that? I can't fight Joe Louis.
When you say you were in France...
Sir.
I always think of what your incident was with Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
You were a talk show host. He dropped you on your head, and you went to court.
On live television.
Someone told me your settlement was $10 million?
No, 400,000 or something.
Oh, 400,000. Oh, someone said then 4
No,
million?
the press had 5 million, 3 million.
Oh, because Bubba told us like 10 million.
After
No,
the
do you think I'd be here? Come on. Nothing personal, but
I was always
I'd be
glad
in
you did
France
that.
sucking faux gras through
Were you still probably were sad to see Hulk Hogan's family involved in this?
You know, here's what's disturbing. Anytime anyone loses a life, you know, especially someone that young, but for them to demonize the victim the way they have been, the Hogan family is unconscionable, don't you think?
You know what? I heard the tape the other day, and people asked me to comment, and I said I don't even know what to make of this. And then Bubba had a whole point of view on it.
Really? What was Bubba's point of view?
Who's Bubba?
He was saying that
Someone explain the Richard who the fuck Bubba is.
I'll tell you about it later. But
Bubba, coincidentally enough,
I don't want to slow down the
Can we
interview
just,
here.
let's just, in all,
Yeah.
and I know this sounds funny from a comedian, but just let's get serious for 1 minute. You know,
Okay.
George died today.
Well, that's why I said it's good you're here. That's the reason I invited you here today.
All right.
To
Yeah, he's
talk
a perfect
about
guest for
George
that.
Carlin.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of George Carlin, and I told earlier my audience that my earliest memories were that, first of all, I remember when George Carlin, who was a favorite of mine, made the transition from a guy in a suit and tie to the ponytail and the long hair, and it was a big deal. It wasn't as big a deal as like the Beatles turning everyone on to...
Or Dylan going electric.
Right, but I remember as a kid thinking, wow, George Carlin now has a ponytail, long hair. He won't wear a suit. He wears jeans and a sweater on major television shows. And it was like a big deal, right?
Yeah, well, the comedy, I thought it was like a Beatles thing. Comedy.
It was a big deal to me.
Artie's right. In relatively speaking, for someone like that, who was so established and so respected, to radically change their appearance... Lenny Bruce did that, too. Lenny Bruce used to wear continental suits, look really sharp. Then he started wearing jeans and, you know, trench coats on stage. And,
it signaled a new attitude in comedy.
Yeah. Well, I think that what George did was he reflected the broader culture. Because remember, hippy-dippy weatherman, he was reflecting what was going on and physically changed. I remember when I first saw him on Dick Cavett with with a three-piece suit on, doing jokes about ordering extra codeine cough syrup.
Right, that's pretty edgy stuff.
You know, in the 60s.
What was your favorite Carlin bit? What did you like?
That's like, you know, what's your favorite Rembrandt painting, I think. Right. During different periods in his life, he came up with masterpieces after masterpiece. My personal favorite, if I had to choose, is his thing he's been doing for a few years now, his interpretation of the Ten Commandments.
Oh, right,
That's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I loved his bit. It's funny you say that bit because I played a bit earlier that I always loved, that he talked about religion, and he was saying the greatest, you know, hoax perpetrated on man is they got these religious leaders are better than any businessman. Right. They got people to buy into the fact that there's an invisible man that lives in the sky.
Right, and only they can talk to them.
Yeah, right. And it's you know, it's a brilliant observation.
Yeah.
So you heard the news this morning.
I was on my way here, and I almost didn't come in, frankly. But I love you, and you know.
You were that upset?
Well, what were you going to do if you didn't come here?
Well, it's good that I came here.
Yeah, but wait a second.
No, I'll tell you why I was that upset. You're talking about George Kennedy, right? The actor?
No, I'm talking about George Carlin.
Let me tell you about George Carlin.
Are you serious when you say...
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Okay, go ahead.
This story I think you probably knew but forgot. There was this, remember that article in Rolling Stone about me years and years ago? I was, you know, on the cover, not on the cover, but Annie Leibovitz took my picture and said, if he's so funny, why isn't he famous? Something like that. And always, anyway, in 1981-82, Johnny Carson had guest hosts, remember?
Right, yes.
And George used to do it once in a while.
Right.
So George was scheduled to host. Now, in this Rolling Stone article, Fred DeCordova, Lazem Gain, rest in peace, Oliver Sholem, had done an interview and said, Richard Belzer will never be on this show. He's too dirty, he's too political, you know, whatever. They just banned me from the show.
Right.
What George was going to guest host, they came to him and they said, all right, who do you want to have on your show when you're on? Pardon me. He said, Richard Belzer.
Want some water?
Yeah, I got it right here, Howard. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, take some water. What's the matter with you?
Well, he's all broken up.
He hasn't eaten in weeks. Yeah, right.
That I know of.
Right.
So George said, I want Richard Belzer. And they said, well, you don't understand. You could have Burt Reynolds. You could have this, you know. He said, no, I want Richard Belzer.
Right.
And he insisted, and he got me. And I did that was the first time I ever did the Tonight Show.
Right.
And George was the host. And, you know, I did very well, at the risk of being immodest. And it kind of, at that point in my career, it was kind of like, you know, I was contraband. It made me a little bit more legal. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that was a better
than anyone.
Absolutely.
So they, you know, so that helped me in a way. But the idea, I heard what he had to go through to get me on.
Right.
And I mean, I've known George, you know, before that and after that.
He went on the line for you.
Yeah.
And so, did you have a personal relationship?
Were you
yes.
in touch with him recently?
I have not been in touch with him recently. I saw him less than a year ago. And, you know, George was such an inspiration because he always wanted to work.
Right.
I mean, he has a lot of money.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody tells you.
How much money did you think he had?
Well, you know, he makes a lot of money when he does these big venues.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean,
I was told by a promoter, this is interesting, by a promoter who would know.
Yeah. I can't see Artie.
A guy who's like very big in the New England area that Richard might know. You know, Bill Blumenreich.
Yeah, sure.
He's a guy who would know he pays comics.
Right.
He claims George Carlin, this is 3 years ago he told me this, was worth over $100 million.
Wow, I believe that.
Mostly because of merchandise. And I remember I saw him 15 times and I bought a shirt like every time. I was kind of drunk and stuff, and you know, they overcharge for those things like crazy.
And you wake up the next day, you're wearing a George Carlin shirt.
Well, you know, I kept one for a while. I'd wear it like under my shirt at gigs sometimes or whatever. But he said mostly through merchandise, and like Richard's saying, constant tour. He always only played big theaters for a long time.
Right. So the man made a lot of money.
Yeah, he was good to Sam too, George.
Yeah, but did anybody ever see how George Carlin lived? I mean, he was pretty quiet. He kept all that stuff.
He was incredibly private. And, you know, after Barbara, you know, his wife died of many, many years that ran his whole career. We were all worried about him. Then he met this girl, and, you know, she kind of rejuvenated him.
Yeah.
That's true. You never knew anything about that.
Yeah, but, you know.
Yeah.
Not
age appropriate.
Yeah. 30s, I think.
So he was getting laid up until the end, do you think?
I don't know that, but he's, you know, he had companionship. I don't know what he was doing.
Right, and he was, you know, he was
only 71, Howard.
I know.
Only.
I mean, these days, that's young.
That is. And the point you're making is that that George Carlin, though, did abuse himself.
Right.
Early on, he was a heavy smoker.
Yes.
Right. You were a smoker.
Well, he wasn't in the greatest
I quit
of
smoking
shape.
for 30 years.
Oh, you did? Okay.
You
A
know,
lot
when
of
you'd
blow.
see him on stage, you could tell, you know, he had some breathing issues and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know?
he had
So, yeah.
cancer at one time. He was very quiet about it.
So, Richard, you are not here with your dog today. I know.
No, I'm not allowed in the building, as Beth isn't.
Yes. Yeah.
I brought you a picture of the dog just to make you feel bad.
Can I tell you something?
You
Richard,
carry that dog around all the time?
let
Yeah.
me
I've
tell the
seen it.
story.
Paris Hilton?
Richard carries.
That's what Chris Maloney calls me, the Paris Hilton of Law and Order.
Richard carries this dog around with him, a little white fluffy dog, like a Shih Tzu type dog.
No, it's a Poodle Fox Terrier.
All right, Poodle Fox Terrier. And you say the dog changed your life.
Yes.
How did the dog change your life?
Well, I've never had a dog.
Right.
And, I'm not young.
Right.
Carl Young or Neil Young.
Right.
Use a pun, go to jail, right, Artie?
Bert? How out young you?
Yeah, Artie knows.
You're not a young man.
I'm not a young man, but, my wife...
How old are you now?
What time can you get here?
You don't even give your age. Like a woman.
Well, he can lose some parts, you know.
Yeah. How old do I look? And I'll tell you how
Honestly,
old I am.
you look to me about 58.
Well, you know me.
58.
Yeah, Artie?
Well, I'm just going to say I saw you in The Groove Tube, which is one of my favorite movies.
The black and white
for
thing
one of my
with the
favorite. Yeah,
gas
and that's
lamps?
what 36 years ago.
More.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, 36 years.
Just because of that.
Yeah. On August 4th.
78.
77. On August 4th.
Yes.
The same birthday as Barack Obama
Go ahead.
and Louis Armstrong.
Hey, Barack Obama's
Richard,
August 4th?
Yeah.
Wow.
Richard Belzer, believe it or not, will be, when I get older,
64?
losing my hair.
Wow.
Many years from now.
Wow.
Will you still be leaving me a
Do you still
piece
get it
of
up?
ass?
Honestly, no jokes. Do you still get it up?
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
You don't?
No. You know what's great is...
Viagra. No.
No, I don't use Viagra.
never used
Not
it?
that I wouldn't if I had. I mean, I'm not...
You don't need it.
No, I don't.
You turn
I'm
on.
very lucky because my wife is beautiful, as you know, and we're not
Absolutely.
together all the time.
Right.
So, it's...
How many months out of the year are you away from her?
What time can you get here?
No,
why
what
do
are
I
you
keep
talking
saying
about?
that?
I don't
Because it
know.
works every time.
Maybe it's Alzheimer's. I don't
Is that... What is that? Can I have a shot of that? She's there 5 or 6 months a year. I'm there
Okay.
3 or 4 months a year.
So you see her a couple of months out of the year.
No. Last, about, I don't know how many years ago, I was on this show.
Yeah.
You asked me how often I saw my wife.
Right.
In like 20 years or whatever.
Right.
And I said, I don't know, once in a while. And you said, so, you've seen her like 18 months in the last 20 years? And I said, yeah. So next week in the Enquirer is Richard Belzer's bizarre marriage to Playboy
So
model.
it's an unconventional relationship.
Yeah, but I think, we've been together for 27 years.
But when you're months apart,
I miss her.
You miss her, right?
But we
And
both
no
like
other
being
women?
alone. We both have our own lives.
Right. What do you do when you're alone? What are you busy
Well,
with?
this is where the dog comes in.
So tell me about how a dog changed your life. I like a dog story.
I
Go
put
ahead.
a garter belt on the dog and a little. No, actually, it's
You never had a dog.
I never had a dog, and so this dog followed us home in the village in France. It was a little stray dog.
Yeah, now I'm going to
It's a
interrupt you for a
French
second.
dog.
By the way, I want to tell you something. Richard's so attached to this dog, he kept saying, I need to bring my dog with me. I need to bring my dog with me. We said, listen, we have the same problem here. We can't get our dogs into the building. They will not allow any dogs.
The building doesn't allow dogs.
And
Bizarre.
Richard then claimed he uses the dog is a high blood pressure dog that he uses for medical
It's a
reasons.
medical
Yeah.
dog.
I've never heard of a high blood
No,
pressure
there are
dog.
dogs that are
Yeah, but
called.
yours is not.
There are dogs.
It was a lie.
Why
No,
did
it's
you
not
try
a lie. I
seeing
use the
eye
dog. I
dog?
fly with the dog. There's dogs. There's service dogs like for blind people and crippled
Yes,
people.
right.
Then there's what they call comfort dogs.
Right.
For people that fear of flying, high blood pressure, anxiety.
You can
and they're
have a
actually
dog
being
to help
prescribed.
You with fear of
Wow.
flying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you love this
X-nay on
dog.
the dog.
What?
All right. So go ahead.
No, I do need to be with the dog, but medically.
You've become attached to this dog.
I became attached to the dog. The dog was abused and abandoned. Okay.
Okay.
So I identified with this dog because it was
Why?
abused.
Have you been
Because
abused?
you've been
I was
abused
abused and abandoned.
Oh, yeah, your mother abused you, right?
Yeah.
She
Remember?
yelled at you.
Yeah,
She
she made me
didn't
buy
let-
her drinks before I could breastfeed. But
that
ladies and gentlemen,
he went on the Donahue show.
Well, about
Belzer,
abuse,
About
yeah.
abuse. And I said, what was the abuse? His mom yelled at him. I said, join the
She
club.
didn't let him play tennis or something.
Right. Yeah, she wouldn't pay for your tennis
took
lesson.
the Corvette away from me.
But you also made fun of Richard Lewis's champagne problem.
That's
you're not,
true.
You're not sensitive.
Yeah, he's an
I saw
alcoholic.
Lewis. Lewis is doing great,
He
by the way.
is.
Yes,
He's a
he
good
is.
guy.
I
Good
love
guy.
Richard Lewis.
Me too.
So the dog, I brought the dog back from France alone by myself.
Go ahead.
And And as you know, your wife has a passion for dogs.
Yes.
Dogs have been bred over hundreds of years to be with us.
Yes.
So I feel a special responsibility that humanity has towards dogs.
Right.
And all they want to do is love us and try to understand us. Dogs think we're big dogs. They don't think they're people.
They think we're the pack leader.
Yeah. Or whatever. So anyway, but this dog is just, I sleep with him, I take him everywhere, I talk to him, it's like, I'm like a 10-year-old kid with the dog.
Wow.
People make fun of me all the time because I'm always, I bring the dog to work, to Law and Order.
But don't you feel silly? Because
Do you feel gay?
At people like you for years.
Well, I am gay. That's,
You've tried gay stuff, right?
Once.
One time.
You're the only person to,
You blew a guy or something.
No. He went south on me, and I said, I think this is my stop. I was hitchhiking. I passed out because I was on Placidil and booze.
What do you do? Do you do yoga?
And the guy went south on me.
Do you do yoga?
And I said, excuse me. Yes.
I think you must be doing spin
No, I'm glad I did it because I realized I did.
No, but you came from it, right?
No, I didn't.
You did not shoot a load on this guy?
No.
You did not.
But really,
No, not that there's
Richard,
anything wrong. I'm not against the gay movement. Just don't shove it down my throat.
Let's
But,
forget the gay thing for a second.
What?
With this dog, you must have laughed at people who are
I did all the things.
All that
I'm doing all the
time.
things I ridicule other
Yes.
people that they do with their dogs and babies.
Yeah.
You talk to
I
the dog?
talk to the dog.
Right.
I mean, I kiss the dog's stomach every night. It sleeps with me.
Wow. You love this dog.
I love the dog, but the dog has a great personality.
How old is the dog?
What time can you get here? Why is that
Are you
fun?
are you
Already
prepared?
explained that. I'll tell you
the
something.
dog's death.
You see, that's a
because the
terrible.
dog's gonna
Well,
go
you got to
sometime.
consider it.
All right, I'm gonna show
Take
you
your shirt
something.
off.
What did you do now?
I put a tattoo of my dogs on my arm.
Let me see. Are you taking your shirt off? Let me
Yeah.
see.
You
Let me
got
see
more
what's
than
still
one
under that
dog?
shirt.
I'm like, well, you work out too, right?
I mean, but my
I
God,
just-
you're so skinny.
But I'm like you.
I think,
But you're
you know,
7'3".
We're going
Take
to
your
see
shirt off.
ribs when he.
I'm afraid what I'm going to see when this shirt
Ribs
comes
and
off.
coleslaw.
Oh, wow, you are in good shape. Look at you. You got no fat on you.
Look, Django and Bebe, those are my two dogs.
And what's on the other side?
My wife's name, Harley.
Oh.
Put your
Hi,
shirt
Dick
on.
Belzer. You know,
Put your shirt
I
on,
used
for
to weigh
God's sake.
348 pounds, but I went on the Artie Lang diet.
Wow.
All I do is drink and pass out on my food, and I don't eat.
Listen,
What?
Richard Belzer,
Sorry, Artie, I
this
had-
Thursday night.
I had to
next-
go with the obvious. Sorry.
Belz is going to be a judge on Last Comic Standing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel good about that? Do you
know
feel
what?
that it's right to judge other comedians this way?
Is comedy something you should judge?
I hope
That's a
these
good
are
paycheck, Richard.
these are
That's all.
these are good questions, and let me tell you why. I had a little reticence to do the show.
All right.
But then I decided to do it because it reminded me of the old days of Catch a Rising Star when I ran auditions and people auditioned for me.
Right.
And the thing I like about Last Comic Standing is it's not like American Idol where they ridicule the acts. At least I don't.
Right.
And me and Steve Sharippa are judges. Now, you know Steve. He's a
Yes,
great guy. I
sure.
love him. And, it's a great combination because I'm the old pro with the advice and he's just no bullshit
Kind of guy. He gives the
Yeah.
answer.
yeah,
he's
and
the higher
I was surprised. Frankly, I thought there were a lot of people that aren't funny, but
Right.
there's some really funny people out there, and the show doesn't ridicule anyone, so I think it's great for
Is Robin
stand-up.
Williams a good friend of yours?
Yes, very good.
Now, why? I can't figure this guy out. He
I was
hates
just with
me.
his son and daughter-in-law the other night.
He does not like me because I used to say to him, "You married your babysitter, your nanny,"
right.
and he took offense at this.
Right.
He's-
How many years ago?
You're talking 20 years ago,
Okay.
Belz.
If you can make up with Chevy, you can make up with Robin.
Chevy's
you have
like
that,
my best friend now.
You have that capacity,
Right. Well,
because-
I don't care.
No, I know you don't
I
care,
have
but it
huge
was
respect
20.
for
It was
Robin
20
Williams.
years ago.
I think he's a great actor.
We're all
I've
different.
and I like him very much. And this guy took offense because I said that he married his nanny.
Which isn't a lie.
Right. But he claims
Well,
it is a
he
lie.
was sensitive at that time.
Yeah. But now he
Why,
divorced
is it
the
bad
nanny.
to marry the nanny?
Yeah. Why was he ashamed of that?
I don't know.
I mean, take
No,
that
he's
up
got
with
beautiful
him.
children with her.
Now he's single. Is he getting hot
he's
pieces
getting
of ass?
divorced. What do you think?
I think yes.
I don't know.
Well, you're his friend.
What have you seen?
I don't talk out of school.
Do you see him with young, beautiful women?
Oh no. I don't. No, I don't. The other day Robin came over. You want to hear a great Jack Benny story?
Yeah. Anyone in our
want to
audience?
hear a Robin
Yeah,
Williams
that's funny.
story.
That's funny. Anybody in our audience
remember Jack Benny? Well, a lot of people don't. Well, you're a 64-year-old guy. You might not be in touch.
Don't push that too long. I'm trying to go with Fib.
But you had your enemies in the business.
You know, I have been incredibly lucky.
Is Paul Reiser an enemy of yours?
No, but he
said bad things about you.
in that book.
Yeah,
did you see that book?
Here's what he said about you.
What did he say?
Paul Reiser said, Richard, I met Paul Reiser. I liked him. Richard was perceived as lazy and full of himself by other comics when he would play Catch a Rising Star.
Yeah.
Reiser said there were nights people would feel very entitled.
Yeah.
I'm a big shot and fuck you.
Yeah.
A lot of near fistfights. Belzer was one of those guys who was very indulged. He was given the run of the house, whether high or drunk.
Oh.
Were you very indulged?
I do not deny one word of that.
You do not?
Yeah, why is that a slam?
That was during
It was
your...
35 years ago. We were all whacked out of our skulls, banging waitresses, having a great time, no AIDS.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Risers.
You were
I was the
creating
MC
AIDS.
there, and when I'll tell you the truth, you want to know? Okay,
Tell the truth for
all
once.
right. You want to hear the truth?
For once, tell the truth.
Here's the problem. I have a dream today.
What is the truth?
Here's the fucking truth, man.
Why are you sniffing? Are you on coke?
No, actually, I have this sign. No,
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
haven't done
thought you were
in a
on
long-
coke when you did the
Morning
roast.
Joe.
No, when you did the roast the
Pat
other day.
Cooper
What
roast.
show?
The Pat Cooper roast. A lot of people said you
No,
were
I
sniffing.
have this thing, and my wife. It drives my wife crazy. I have this sinus thing. I haven't done coke.
But he had the line of the fucking roast
Oh, my God.
Which one?
We could have not done
at
that.
the Pat Cooper roast. Tell him the line you did about Lisa Lampanelli and
Probably
Vinny
didn't remember.
Pastore.
Does he remember?
You got to remember that joke.
Oh, yes. No,
this
go ahead.
brought the house down.
What was the joke, Artie?
Yeah.
God, you want to do it?
Yeah, Vincent Pastore was there.
He wasn't there.
Oh, we were supposed to have him there. You do it.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, you're great.
With
Go
your
ahead.
permission. So
Somebody's got to make my shit work, Artie.
they were supposed to get. They were supposed to get Vincent Pastore.
Right.
They couldn't. But
Right. I got it now.
Go ahead, do it.
Yeah. So I said, and then, so Lisa Lampanelli is the roast man instead of. I said, so instead of big pussy, we got giant cunt. But you know, ladies and gentlemen,
That's good.
That's
shit.
a good one. But you were
one
saying...
more cunt joke.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay.
Cunt joke is
As many as you
over.
want.
You like this one. Pat Henry, Oliver Shaw, may rest in peace. He was the guy that opened for Sinatra. Great guy.
Pat Henry, the comedian.
Yeah, very funny. He was the roaster at... He was the master of ceremonies at... The roast master at Red Fox's roast, like, I don't know, 25 years ago or something. He comes... It's in the ballroom of the Hilton, you know, Artie, right? There's like 3,000, 2,500 people there, right? This is his opening line. He comes out and he says, we were going to hold this event in Kay Ballard's cunt, but it was too big. That's the start of the roast.
See, anybody know who Kay
Now, where do you
Ballard
go
is?
from there?
I remember Kay Ballard.
I remember
Yeah,
Kay
she's
Ballard.
a great chick.
So, Belz,
Where
what
was
were
I?
we talking about?
Well, you said no Jack Penny. What was the other
We were
thing?
talking about Robin
Yeah, we don't want
Williams.
to... Robin Williams.
No, we're on to something good.
You were going to talk about. I remember you were talking about.
I have Alzheimer's disease. I can't remember my own
I have
material.
it, too.
No, Catch a Rising
Jack
Star.
Benny was what he
Paul
was.
Reiser.
Paul
Catch a
Reiser.
Rising Star.
Right. Paul
All right,
Reiser.
I'm gonna
Reiser.
tell you this. I've never said in public before.
Go ahead.
This is the truth.
Right now on our stage, before I bring out.
And after that, do more Kay Ballard cunt jokes. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
all right. Hey, come on.
And some of them.
Right now, yeah, I'm
Go ahead,
79 years old. Okay, here's my problem with Paul Reiser, and you know, I was indulged there,
Yeah.
but you know, I think fair to say I was a good MC, and you know, I mean,
You were a talented guy, you were on a roll.
Yeah, and you know, I may have been a little insensitive and arrogant, but you know, I was 9 years old. Okay, so. This guy comes in, Paul Reiser, right?
Right.
And I had, you know, in the I guess it was the 70s, you know, I think, probably. So he comes in, and he wants to go on, you know, I introduce, you know, I say hi and everything. I forget how or why, but, so I put him on. And I go, holy shit, this guy's doing Richard Lewis. My brother. You know, Lewis and I been together forever.
Yeah.
And, you know, in those days... I was the comedy police. Like if somebody did someone else's act, I would go up on stage, take out my wallet, go, all right, buddy, let's go, comedy police, come on. Right. You know, that's not your line. Come on, let's go, pal. And put the cuffs on.
But you're talking more of even a style, right?
Well,
Like,
which is
even worse.
It's even
Yeah,
worse.
it's
Exactly
yeah.
right. So he had appropriated all of Lewis, and Richard was, you know, was upset about it.
Hated him, right? Yeah.
He doesn't hate him anymore, but it was like all of us in that early group.
Right.
In those days, when you did stand-up, you wanted to do stand-up. It wasn't like in the later on, where every jerk got in front of a brick wall at some deli. Right. You know what I mean?
It was a real.
We had, we weren't making we're making cab fare. I was sleeping on my brother's couch, living on yogurt.
Yes.
Right. And so we all had this little fraternity. When someone came from the outside, naturally you were a little, how do you say, proprietary.
Right.
And so he went on, and it was like. It was disturbing.
So anyway.
So you weren't the nicest to him, probably.
I don't remember being nasty to him.
Bill Maher said of you that he's never seen you do a set sober.
Well, that he's just being glib. In those days, it's
you were high all the time.
I was high. Well, I used to drink Jack Daniels.
Wow.
Jeez.
I have like 10 shots.
So you were the Artie of the.
Yes, I was the thin Artie.
You were thin Artie.
How do you maintain that figure?
Yeah, how did you help Artie out? You did heroin, right? Did you do coke? Did you do heroin?
Everything.
You did everything.
Yeah.
How did you clean up? Because Artie needs help.
How did I clean up?
Was it the
How did you get off?
I gotta tell you that a guy who was one of the first guys to make me a regular at a club was friends with Richard because of Catch a Rising Star. He ran it. The great Rick Newman. I love that guy.
I just saw him the other day.
Rick Newman's such
he's
a great
huge
guy.
fan of yours.
Yeah, and he used to put me on quite a bit there. And he used to tell stories about... Remember, he had the club on West 28th Street for a while. Yeah, that's right. After the original one.
Right.
And late at night, he was just the nicest guy. He would talk to you about old comics, and he would say how much he loved Richard Belzer because him and Belushi... They could just go for 3 straight days partying.
Right.
Oh, God.
And there's all pictures of Belushi in the 70s at Catch a Rising Star looking quite wired.
Yeah, Artie wishes he was part of that whole scene. Belushi was a good friend of yours.
John used to come in to Catch and jump up on stage once in a while. I mean, there were nights there where, Robin Williams, John Belushi, we'd do...
You don't want to sound like an old fart, but those were the days, weren't they?
Well, that was our vaudeville. That was our, and... It was the greatest period because I didn't realize at the time, now they're writing books about it and doing documentaries, how influential stand-up was in the 70s.
It had more of an impact.
Yeah.
So Rick Newman would tell me great stories about, whatever, one of those nights, and it'd be like 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, and like Richard, Belushi, and him are sitting around going, anyone who could get more?
You didn't have enough.
Right, I mean, coke, that's the chaos of coke. It's like you'll stay up as long as it lasts.
Yeah. In those days, people wore, Coke spoons around their neck.
Right.
Or little bottles. I was at a party once at a famous designer's house who will go unnamed. Calvin Klein. Calvin. And in the Hamptons.
Right.
And there were trays of stuff that were just passed around like it was cocktails.
Yeah, but you cleaned up.
Those were the days.
But you cleaned up your act. That's what you're.
Well, I have to say, my wife, who you know, who I met in 1981.
Do you think that's why you?
I said it was the love of a good woman.
Yeah, but do you think that's why you saw UFOs and things like that? I mean, you never saw a UFO. Yeah, but Richard.
I saw one UFO.
Well, you were also high as a kite.
No, I well, all right.
Turned out to be Kay Ballard.
Yeah, can anybody?
Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. That was the mothership.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I got to take a break. The Belz is here. It's always great. And by the way, the Belz celebrating the fact that also his character, that Munch,
Detective Munch,
was on at least 10 different shows.
I know, isn't that amazing?
It is. I think
he's going to do it in every show.
That's beyond Babe.
You're still doing it, right?
Yeah, we just started our 10th season.
What's the show?
Munch
Law and Order.
Special Victims Unit.
Special Victims Unit. Right.
Detective Munch is joining Desperate Housewives.
Is that
right?
true?
Well, they're desperate.
Wow.
No.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's a dream.
All from a guy
all
hearing,
because of you.
Yeah, all from a guy hearing
because of you.
The guy who created that show was driving in his car, Barry Levinson, and heard the Belz on our show. It's amazing.
And I wasn't even up for it.
Nothing.
And he said, let's bring Richard in. And I think I told you the story, but it's worth repeating. When I was the last person cast, because there was like 10 of us on that show.
Right.
And they got everyone. They're looking, we need a Munch. We need a Munch. They're trying to find a Munch, right? So I'll tell you about the audition another time. But, so I get it. And Tom Fontana, the producer, calls NBC to tell them, we found Munch. And they go, great, who is it? And he goes, Richard Belzer. Dead fucking silence on the other end of the line. Right. They go, we were hoping for a hunk, like Jason Priestley. Or,
no.
And so Tom said, Barry wants Richard. Right. Yeah, but that's what he wants. So
He's stuck up
Thank
for you.
goodness it was Barry Levinson, right?
That's so great when a guy like that says "fuck you" to a network.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
You know
stories
that,
like that.
Munch originally appeared in Gone with the Wind. That's what
Is that right?
Well, Munch
So
used to
far
be
back?
Ellen DeGeneres' party name, but I can't be here
I
all
love
the
when a
time.
guy. I love when a guy. You know what you should do? Last Comic Standing. You should judge it as Munch. That'll be the
Belz, I tell you what. I got to take a break.
Go ahead.
And when we come back, if you want to be here, I don't know, maybe you got somewhere to go.
I
don't think so.
haven't been here in so long.
All right, we'll do a little news. You'll tell us who you're voting for. Somehow I think I have an idea.
I think we know.
Yeah, I'll take a good guess. But we're going to take a break. And then when
I have a lot to say about this coming election, but go ahead.
Good. We want to hear it. And we'll take some phone calls and things and various things. And what is it, Mark? Yes, go ahead quickly.
Hey now, Mega Schmega.
Yes, hi.
Hey, I was actually just watching Scarface when I heard Artie doing that the other day, and I know Belzer was in it. Does he have any stories from Scarface?
You were in Scarface?
Yeah.
I don't remember
What do you live
that.
in a cave?
You know, I haven't watched it.
Everybody in the fucking world knows that, but you.
I love that movie. When are you in Scarface?
You love that movie.
I love it.
Okay, I'm gonna
I mean,
jog
don't
your
forget,
memory.
I saw it in the movie theater when it originally came out.
You haven't seen it since?
No, I'm going to watch it again, though. I actually have. I just bought a copy so I can watch it.
You remember the
again.
nightclub scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
The big shoot up, Octavio the clown.
You're on stage?
I'm the MC.
Oh, right.
The
Okay.
Buffalo
Okay.
thing right before fucking he gets shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything wild happen on that set?
Yes.
Really? Is that
Yeah, I was in Miami. But go to your break. I'll tell you.
You're going to tell me off the air? You're going to tell me on the air?
the air. Let's save it. I mean, come on.
Tell me right now. What happened in Scarface?
Come to America. You want jokes? You know?
Yeah, tell me about that. What happened on the set of Scarface?
Oh, let's see.
You don't have a good story about Scarface.
No, I don't have a good story.
None that you
The
can
80s
tell.
in Miami, Cuban coke dealers, Al Pacino. No, I have no story.
All right. We'll be back
I
right
have
after
no
these
story.
words. Richard Belzer, everybody. Listen to this. song in a while. Shattered. We're sitting here with Richard Belzer this Thursday night and next Thursday night at 8 o'clock on Last Comic Standing on NBC. And the Belz, always good seeing him.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Did you, what do you think about the Mike Myers universe? Did you hear what happened?
Well, the movie came in fourth.
Not only that, but what happened at the Letterman show when he was there?
No.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Come in.
Hello. Sorry. Yeah.
That's all right.
I just wolfed a sandwich down like a mad rabbit.
When I come here, I know it's going to be like Oscar Wilde or Noel Coward or... Anyway.
Yeah, very classy.
Yeah.
I'm very much similar to Dick Cavett as a broadcaster. Yes.
I love Dick Cavett. I do. This was in the paper the other day. You didn't see this, Artie?
Yeah,
he was backstage.
He was acting like a real mega diva backstage.
Right. Making demands, like he wanted Twizzlers, a certain brand of, you know what I mean?
He kept sending interns
like a parody of a bad star.
A diva.
Yeah, but terrible. And then I read this long piece in some major magazine about how
he's a real
burned
prick.
every bridge,
right,
and then blew them up. You know what I mean? And then paved over the river.
If that stuff is true, then you'd be glad that his movie
didn't do well.
But do you know that of him? Are you a friend of his?
I'm not a friend of his. I've seen him over the years. He's always been very nice to me.
Right.
I'm just reporting what I see in the press.
Right.
Well, you had been reading that, what was it, Entertainment Weekly article, I think.
Oh, they said he was a monster.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing I read.
Yeah, they said he was a real difficult guy. But, you know, that movie didn't look like it was
it looked like a sketch.
It did. But so did Austin Powers, and that did
that was a
sketch.
That was a sketch, but it worked.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works.
Sometimes they work.
But, yeah, so that's that. And,
yes.
You know what I wanted to ask you? Someone is on the phone here. He says, you banged Michelle Pfeiffer on the set of Scarface.
Ooh. Is that the
true?
story you were going to tell us?
How do you know that, Mike?
Yo, Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm friends with Wayne Dover. You know Wayne Dover, right, Belzer?
Ben Dover's brother?
No. He played the clown Octavio in Scarface.
Right.
Anyway, he was getting something from his trailer, and he passed by Michelle Pfeiffer's trailer, and he heard Belzer banging her.
Is that true, Belz?
Come on, Belzer.
The Belz banged?
No.
No wonder.
No.
Smiling.
No. What's the smile about?
No.
Why are you protecting her?
Huh?
Belzer, you heard the whole fucking conversation. You want to know what you were saying?
What did he say?
He was saying, shut up, Shiksa, and take my Jewish load.
Oh. Now you know that wasn't
Now
me.
I know it was you.
No, I would never.
I've heard him say that to
vulgar
other,
and vile.
I've
said that to men, but not to women. No, to tell you the truth, I never was on the set the same day as Michelle.
I see. So you didn't get a chance to bang her. You would have banged her.
I'm.
All right, we got to get to our news block. Steve
I'm not
Langford,
that type of guy.
The Belz is going to sit in with us. First, Steve Langford from Howard 100 News has an update for us. Steve, what do you have for us? Please tell us some things.
Just some of the stories we're working on in the Howard 100 newsroom. Howard Stern apparently now in his final few weeks of bachelorhood. Howard and Beth getting married this summer. That's what Beth has told Hamptons.com.
This summer?
Beth O saying they will be married this summer in a very quiet ceremony, only their families to be in attendance.
Well, I told you that.
Well, you didn't tell us when.
The Belz wants to be at my friend wedding. I'm having 2 weddings, you know. Did you know
you're
that?
not having
An intimate
a ceremony
one
at the
with
second
my family.
one.
Just a family,
right?
And then a friend wedding.
Yeah.
You're having an actual ceremony at the second one too?
A reception for your friends.
That's where Mark Consuelos is going to marry us.
Oh, you're so silly.
What do you mean you're so silly?
I don't want to go.
Don't go.
Don't,
oh, good.
don't-
Who's Mark Consuelo?
Don't make a mockery. You can have my seat.
Who's Mark Consuelo?
Belz, you go. You can
If
come
I'm
instead of
invited,
Robin.
I'll go.
Now you are. Robin's off the list.
That's the only way?
Just like Lindsay Lohan, I'm taking my name out of consideration.
All right. You really don't want an invite. You tell me now the truth. You don't want to come to my wedding?
Silliness.
Do you not want to come to my wedding? Yes or no?
No.
No? Okay. You're in,
I got
Belz.
better things to do with my time.
I am not sending you an invite.
Fine.
What set that? Well, by the way, just out of curiosity, what triggered that? That you wouldn't go to my wedding?
You're having a Mark Consuelo's fake ceremony in front of me?
Fake? It's real. He's going to get a license to
Get
marry
out
us.
of here. You already have a marriage license. You're having
That's
another
right.
ceremony.
That's right. We're having a ceremony with our friends to honor our wedding.
It's a fake.
We're not getting married in front of our family either. We're doing it privately and getting a marriage license.
Oh,
Robin wants to be at the real wedding.
This is so ridiculous.
Well, no one's going to be there except me and Beth when we get married.
Well, you have to have a
And Rabbi
witness.
Huckelstein, I hope.
You have to have a witness.
Rabbi
Huckelstein, today we're gathered here.
But you don't have to go to it.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think I just shit in my pants.
I want to go to a real wedding.
Well, then you know what?
I'm not going to
You're not going to mine.
Robin, let me just say in Howard.
Go to Will's. He's getting married in Saratoga.
A lot of people have very private ceremonies and then they celebrate with their friends.
Of course.
A symbolic thing. So
Thank
he's
you.
not mocking.
I don't need to see Mark Consuelos make them go through fake vows.
It's just a gesture.
You don't have to be there. I would love to have you, but you don't have to be there.
You don't want me at your wedding because you're
you-
having a fake wedding in front of me.
Right. Well, you can not invite it to either one. How's that?
Wow.
Robin's very hurt by this. I can tell.
Well, then she'll have to be hurt. She'll
Well,
get
let's
over it.
say
can't see
it's
you
none of her
take your
fucking
real
business how you get married.
No one's going to see. We're just going out. We're just getting. I'll talk to you off the air. You know how you tell me if Jim and you were in love off the air? I'll tell you off the air.
Let's do the whole fucking show. You know, I'll tell you I'm on heroin off the air.
Everything's off the air now.
Yeah.
I eloped, Howard. I eloped.
Did you elope?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very insulted.
I'm
Went
hurt,
down to
and I was
Tijuana in a
offended
white
by you,
limousine.
too.
Is that right?
And eloped, and on the way back, the Border Patrol stopped me because I'm dressed all in black with this blonde and a limo, and I have no
Like a kidnapping.
luggage. I have no luggage.
Yeah, you look like a smuggler.
We were
And
smuggling
you thought I
someone
was
out.
smuggling this blonde girl.
Nice. Well, all right. Go ahead, Steve. Yes.
Sorry, Steve.
Thanks for disrupting the whole show.
Again. Also today, as we approach the first anniversary of another great romance between Robin Quivers and Jim Florentine, Jimmy speaks out like never before. Florentine submitting to a merciless on-air interrogation by Bubba the Love Sponge. Bubba getting Florentine to open up about their sex life. Jim left momentarily speechless by Bubba's probing questions about whether Robin's into anal. Florentine more comfortable telling Bubba that he and Robin made out for the first time in the back of a cab.
Well, there you go. Yeah, Robin's in a big relationship, Belz.
Well, love
With a comedian, no less.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he funny? I hope.
Oh, Jim's very fun.
Very
Funny
fun.
in bed? One time I was with my lovely... I'm sorry, do you have more to say, my friend?
Steve, when are you going to...
Go ahead, Steve.
Yes, go ahead.
Also today, Angry Black is angry, all right, about not getting his own radio show here at Sirius. The volatile whackpacker says he's being treated with nothing but total disrespect. It's a slap in the face. He says that others like John the Stutterer and Paula Gloria got their own shows on Howard 101. Angry Black says he would call his show Black Friday.
Is right.
Yantra and mantra creates tantra. Tantra.
That's Paula Gloria singing.
Yantra and mantra to equal tantra. Tantra.
All right.
Is
Yes.
that Billy Preston, by the way?
Yes, it is.
It is, right?
Absolutely.
Nothing says nothing.
But the best song he ever did is That's the Way God Planned It. That's the best song he ever did.
But that's the way God planned it.
No, that's not that. That's the way God planned it.
Yeah.
That's the way God meant it to be.
Oliver Sholem.
You don't like You Are So Beautiful?
You Are So Beautiful? Did he write that?
To me.
Well, he wrote it.
He wrote it, but
He didn't have the hit with it.
Cocker
Cocker
did.
I like that song, but I didn't realize Billy Preston. No, I still like That's the Way God Planned It.
All right.
Bells, if we're boring, you go home. All right.
No, I'm here.
All right.
Are you gonna? You should have that song at your real wedding that we won't see, right, Robin?
Right.
That's right. Yeah, just pick everything for the real way.
Go ahead, Steve.
Steve, go ahead.
And in Howard history, on this day in 1993, Howard calls Jesse Jackson an idiot and refers to him as the Reverend Jesse Jerkson. Straight Talk with John the Stutterer tonight, 7 Eastern, Howard 101, and at midnight, Craig Fitzsimmons. Stern News, to the Howard 100 News tip line 877-33 Sirius, choose channel 100, or email us at howard100news at sirius-radio.com.
All right, Steve Langford, thank you very much. John Hine has an update for us about the wrap-up show. John?
Well, Howard, Cindy Margolis wore a dress that proves she hasn't hit the wall.
She looked good.
And after much consideration, she decided to go out on a date with Bachelor number 1, Ralph, then Bachelor number 3, AA, and finally settled on Bachelor number 2, Ryan.
Correct.
We'll discuss Cindy's sexual experience since becoming a single mom with 3 kids.
Right.
How Bachelor number 1, Ralph, got done in by the videotape. What Jim Florentine lookalike Bachelor number 2 will learn from Cindy on their date. And if anyone has ever fallen for the rap of Bachelor number 3, AA, who lived up to his name of Awesome Angelo.
That's right. What else you got?
Plus, Richard Belzer is one of the skinniest guests who's ever been here, and he showed Howard the kind of shape he's in as he approaches 64.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Belzer's time in the studio. how close he is with his dog and the tattoos he displayed to prove it, his history with Robin Williams, Paul Reiser, and whatever happened while shooting Scarface, and we'll try to predict the next show that Detective Munch will show up on.
Right. He should be in Spider-Man, the movie. Detective Munch. That would be good, yeah.
Oh, he's going to leap to the movies now?
Yes, that's right. That's my prediction. Yes, and anything else?
Plus, everyone reflects on the death of George Carlin. Howard has the conversation with Hansy that his parents won't have. High Pitch Eric has a job at a law firm. Artie passes up Fired Up Dave's roast beef test just by looking at the meat. Robin is out and Belzer is in at Howard's Mark Consuelos-led wedding. Plus, everything else that happened on today's show we covered on the wrap-up.
Gary, write me a memo that Belzer has to be invited to the wedding. It's true. How could I? You know what? Belzer was not on the list, but I guess I should invite him, huh?
It's up to you.
I think I should have you there.
I don't have to come here and remind you. If you don't think, you know what, fuck his wedding.
All right, good. You and Robin are out.
We'll go out
Artie,
that
you're
night,
in.
Belz.
You go out with Robin that night.
Artie could be my date. My wife's in France.
You're going to miss the wedding.
Why don't I take Artie as my wife?
And,
Listen, Belz,
as my date.
And I'm not having some big celebrity-studded wedding. If you're looking for that kind of action.
No, you know what, Howard? I am so happy for you. I've known you for what? Since 1970-something.
Right. Since, I think, Simchas Torah 1973.
Yes, since we decorated the Sukkot tent.
That's right.
In Tel Aviv. And I remember that day when you came to the
and what do you want to say?
And you fucked, what?
What do you want to say?
You're happy for him.
And by the way,
I'm very happy
but you
for
can't bring your dog to the wedding. No offense.
Of course not.
All right, thank you.
I wouldn't do that.
I mean, with the dog, it's a little obsessive. Calm down. All right, anything else?
I open my heart to you. I say why I love the dog, and then you ridicule me.
Bianca's not a part of the... Which ceremony will Bianca be a part of?
Oh, your dog's not going to be there?
Not part of the ceremony. My dog doesn't know what's going on. My dog will get stepped on.
Could be a slobber bearer.
Right. Go ahead.
That's all on the wrap-up show.
All right, Johnny Heim, we're going to get right over to Robin. Robin's got the news for us, and Belz is sitting in with us. Let's go right to the news.
I love Robin's news. Cause every time she talks and every time she laughs, I wanna bend her over, fuck her hard and fast in her asshole.
Oh, now. Robin. After she's married, I want this off the air.
Right. When she marries.
Wow.
But I don't want to bury my face in her tits. I just want to put my cock where she shits.
Oh, please. Yeah, I got my mother's picture in my wallet. I can't.
I want to beg you, Robin, in your dirty place.
All right, we get it. We get it. We get it. We get it.
All right, you had enough.
Jesus, God in heaven.
Robin, what's in the news?
He wants to fuck her in the ass.
We were all talking about this.
Wait a minute.
Comedian George Carlin
died.
Considered one of the most influential and controversial comedians of the late 20th century, is dead at the age
Will you be at the funeral, Belz? If you're really that close to George Carlin, will you be there? I have a feeling you won't. I think you're imagining.
What kind of funeral would he have? What would George do?
I don't know, but I know he wasn't a religious man, and I think the real test of whether Belzer was truly a friend of George Carlin is whether...
if he's at the funeral?
That's absolutely right.
That's such a vapid, mindless, sweeping generalization.
Will you be there?
Yes. But you know, ladies and gentlemen,
Carlin
I don't know where it
into
is.
St. John's Health Center in Santa Monica, California, Sunday afternoon, and he died of a heart attack around 6 p.m. Pacific
There he is,
time.
George Carlin. There you go.
How
I love
sad
George
can you
Carlin.
be?
He's one of my favorites.
In addition to his edgy stand-up routines, Carlin appeared in several movies, including Jersey Girl and Scary Movie 3. He was also the voice of Fillmore in the 2006 film Cars. Among Carlin's most famous routines was, of course, the 7 words you can never say on television. 3-3.
Right.
Well, has that changed?
No, it's actually gotten worse.
That's what I mean.
Don't you think?
Has changed.
Yeah, you'd have to add to that number now.
All right.
Number 3.
They're only words. It's the context that counts. It's the user. It's the intention behind the words that makes them good or bad. The words are completely neutral. The words are innocent. I get tired of people talking about bad words and bad language. Bullshit. It's the context that makes them good or bad.
There you go.
Why did you bleep shit?
Well,
I don't know.
We didn't. It was just the way it came over for us.
Yeah.
We
it's
don't
a wire
have to do
server.
those things. Yeah.
It's a wire
Then you
server.
do it. You do it.
Bullshit.
That's what I mean.
Vagina.
Last week, the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts announced that Carlin would be honored for his 50-year career in comedy in a special ceremony to be held in November. So he's
This
not
was
even...
before he passed.
Yeah.
Are they going to go ahead with it?
They are going to award the...
Well, if you're such a good friend of his, why are you not going to be at the award ceremony acting as the widow and receiving the award for him, Belz?
I have no... Speak to my attorneys.
By the way, you know why advertising works?
The award posthumously,
you have to help me out with this. You know why advertising works? I saw an ad this morning for the movie 10,000 BC is coming out on DVD.
Yeah.
I immediately bought it. I went
because of the ad.
The ad.
Because the ad is all the best shit in the movie. Then you see the movie and...
I fell for it. Is it a bad movie?
Yeah.
I told you, it sucks.
Oh, it does?
Oh, please. It had a good opening because it had a ton of advertising beforehand, and then it completely died. Yeah.
Oh. That's how they con the public.
I got conned.
It's all right. You can afford it.
Yes,
well, I don't like to get... I can afford it, but I don't like to be
donate the movie to, you know...
But if this keeps up, he's going to wind up like Ed McMahon.
Right. What if I keep falling for it?
I thought it was a documentary for a while, 10,000 BC.
See, it looked cool with cavemen and special effects and a whole thing. Thought I'd be sitting home watching that.
Well, here's another little bit of George Carlin sharing some of his thoughts on politics during stand-up routine. 3-4.
Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Yeah. Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks.
The award that Carlin is going to receive from the Kennedy Center is called the Mark Twain Award. So,
who's that?
Hey, that's not half wrong.
By the way,
yes, sir.
I want to give news about Robin.
Okay,
and she doesn't even know this. Robin was ranked.
You're fired.
No,
go ahead.
Robin was ranked number 5.
Wow.
For celebrities' biggest breasts.
No, please.
On a legitimate website.
Oh, please.
Number 1 was, who do you think? Dolly Parton. Number 2, Britney Spears. Number 3, let's see, I don't even have number. Let me see.
Arnold Stang.
Arnold Stang.
Yes, Arnold Stang.
Number 3 was, well, Katie Segal is number 4, and Robin is number 5. I don't know who number 3 is.
What a meaningless, mindless objectification of women.
Mamarazzi.
When is that ceremony? I will go and get my award.
That is from Mamarazzi. It's going to be presented by Mark Twain himself. He's going to actually come.
Samuel Clemens to you.
Samuel Clemens. That's right. He will be presenting.
Yes.
Mamarazzi, thank you for that honor.
Mamarazzi, man of an angel.
How much are you taking part in the planning of these multiple weddings of yours?
I'm involved. We still haven't even made a wedding list. Beth claims she made one. She was in San Francisco, so she had a 7-hour plane flight or whatever it is. Hosting the world's ugliest dog contest.
I know,
I read about a lot over the weekend. They selected the dog.
She said it was really funny and great, and it's going to be on Animal Planet. I'll fill you in when it's going to be on. But the thing is that she came up with a list of people, and I'm having a hard time because we're only
Did you have to make a list too?
Well, here's the problem. I have... it's like we're inviting, it's a dinner. It's just a dinner party for friends, for close friends.
Excuse me.
To celebrate the fact that we are married. And
where's it going to be, Manhattan?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And it's like 100.
Just relax, Richard.
Yeah, go to sleep. Artie does that all the time.
We're used to it.
Artie will show you how to nap on that couch.
We'll just keep going.
Steal my bed.
Yeah, you're stealing Artie's bed.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Artie.
So it's 100, 100 some odd people. And they're very odd. And we're going to have a dinner and say, hey, we're married. These are our friends. Now, my problem is Beth has a lot of friends. And I have people I work with. I don't really have a lot of friends. Take the Belz. I know Belz, but he never hangs out with me.
He tried. You won't hang out with him.
I won't hang out with him. You're right. I'm afraid of any...
We hung out. What are you talking about?
I got a blowjob
when we were young.
I don't know what he's up to. All right. So...
I smoked a joint in your limo, and you went...
Oh, yeah, remember that.
Talked about it for 3 fucking weeks like that was the most radical thing you've ever seen. You also smoked a joint in my limo.
Do you still smoke?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You sound that you're sniffing every night.
Well, you certainly don't get the munchies, do you?
Right. No, his appetite hasn't increased.
The John Munchies.
Yeah. Why do you think they call us calculator?
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
You have beautiful legs, Belzer.
So sweet. Wow. Cute.
You got to get some sun.
You got to get some sun, though.
I'm a
Is
vampire.
there no sun in France?
I am a vampire.
We got to get him outside. No skin cancer for you, that's for sure.
No skin cancer for you.
Anyway,
yes.
We're going to have a small group of people to say, like a dinner.
Wait a
similar
minute.
to what, like
Make up your mind. You're saying there's a lot of friends.
But the problem is with work. In other words, I was thinking of having, up until your last tirade, you, Artie, like Fred, and Gary. In other words, that would be
the
work team, my work team. But
really,
then,
just that?
once I go to
Benji?
No.
Just for Fab
Because if I invite Benji, then I got to get to Richard, Sal, and Sal can't come because Beth does not want Sal.
Right.
Oh, just keep it at that, because the broad, I think, will be so impressed by that.
Yeah. And then...
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
And then, if I start opening it up, then what about Howard TV? I love Scott DePace. I love Doug Goodstein. I love D'Angie.
You're not inviting Doug Goodstein?
But if I invite one of them, I got to invite all three of them.
You know what, Doug, right away, he'll come there, be talking about 9/11, how he helped all the time.
Right.
He's a bore.
Right. And what about Phelan? Brian Phelan?
I think you're answering all your own questions.
See, and then there's no room for like a Belzer if I have to invite those guys.
You need some people that can carry on a table conversation. I'll volunteer.
Any person who's on TV that I could tell a chick is a celebrity.
All right.
You know, like
Bowser's good to invite.
Yeah, she's a big Law and Order fan, I think.
Howard,
right.
Just a perfect example already. Like DePace on the intercom just said to me, 15 years I've been here. 15 years.
That's what I mean. I don't want a wedding. This is why I said to Beth, I
So-
don't want a wedding. I can't invite all these people.
I have another solution.
Give me it. And be serious for
And
once.
I am serious.
All right.
For once. I'll slap
for
the
once.
shit out of
You've
you.
never serious.
I think you and Beth should go through all these machinations, and then, you just elope and say, you know what, we didn't, and
They're
That's what I
already
wanted.
getting married secretly somewhere.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
you don't need to
make up
If
a
more
fake
people
list.
are insulted by that, like Robin, then I won't have to have anybody.
Right. Just, you know what?
Yeah.
Unless, and it's
No,
really,
I want
it's
to
up
have
to
a
Beth.
dinner.
It's up
I
to
want to
Beth.
have a dinner
Right.
where I can be with my friends and announce this wonderful thing.
Right.
But look, I mean,
It's a very hard thing to do.
what am I going to do? I got fucking 500 people who all think I should be there.
Right.
I love them all. I do.
How
I
old
love the
are
people
you?
I work
How
with.
old are you?
Me?
Yeah, 50.
How soon can you get there? I'm 54.
How soon can you get here is the
Here,
line.
whatever.
That's okay. Then you invite 54 people.
Oh, that'll be easy. Come on. That's
What?
not.
You're going to have 100 people of your closest friends? You have 3 fucking friends. You're going to invite 100 people.
No, these people I work with. See?
You have a separate thing for your colleagues at work. And
I had
more
enough. I
intimate-
got 2 things already.
Well, fuck them all then.
Yeah.
I can't help you.
Will Jimmy Kimmel and Ralph
I
be
tried.
at the same table?
I tried.
No. Jimmy said he's going to punch Ralph out.
That's going to be fun at the wedding.
No, but actually now Jimmy calmed down.
Is Sarah coming?
Sarah's coming.
I love Sarah.
Yeah, I
You
love
don't like
Sarah.
Jimmy? Because you like Sarah?
No, I just.
You're not a Jimmy fan? You
I
like
like
Sarah?
Jimmy. I like Jimmy. I don't know
I feel
him.
like you're saying you don't like Jimmy.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's what
I know her. I don't know him.
So Sarah will be
I
there.
fucked him. I didn't fuck her.
Right.
Sarah will be there, but no Scott DePace.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to break this down. And then there are...
All right, here's what you do. You have a contest. Everyone that works for you writes you
an essay.
a paragraph or an essay. Why or why not they should be there.
Come here. I'm going to kiss you. You know why?
What?
Come here. I'm going to tell you why. That's brilliant. Now your genius has come through.
Let them tell you why. And some people, if your real friends say, you know what, Howard, I love you. Congratulations. I don't need to be at any wedding.
No, that's a cop.
And they should have to read it
No, a
on
friend
the air.
would say that.
All right. What we're going to do, Robin, is
Have a contest.
everyone at work's going to write
Okay.
a paragraph on why
I
they
should
do
be
it.
invited.
And I will read it on the air. And
Very
then,
good.
based on the paragraph, you and I will decide who goes.
All right.
All right? Fair enough?
We should let Hansy should read it after a joint.
Belzer, what's going on with you?
Can I blow my nose?
You're
I'm 90 years
snorting and
old.
blowing your nose?
I am 90 years old.
You're turning into an old guy.
Listen, I just shit on my pants. Can I step outside for a second? I think I did. I'm not sure. I think I may have shit in my...
All right, Gary, everyone's entry should be in 2 days.
How many people are you soliciting paragraphs from, though? You don't want...
Scott DePace just entered. It's one line. He said,
What?
I've been here 15 years. Fuck
That's
you.
not a very good paragraph.
Well,
That's not a term of endearment.
That's not taking it seriously, Scott.
No, this is serious.
I am serious.
I know you are.
Belzer, where's your paragraph?
Wow. Wow. Let me just say wow 3 more times. Wow.
I should make the 5 chicks I'm considering write paragraphs.
There you go. Let's start testing
The
people.
smartest paragraph loses.
All right, Robin, let's get to the rest
The
of
reason
the
I
news.
asked this
All right, come on.
is because Ellen DeGeneres is talking about her wedding plans with Portia de Rossi.
Good.
Oh, my God.
That's great.
She says that she gave her girlfriend a ring with pink
Good.
diamonds.
That's great. No, really. She could have taken that money and saved the 40,000 dogs that she kept auditioning.
There you go.
You're not friends with her?
You're very upset with her and
I'm
how
not.
she treats dogs, huh?
Yes.
No, I don't.
He doesn't care.
I don't know.
He's just trying to be funny.
Well, I think they're making a mockery, too.
You're just being funny.
Thank you.
Their wedding will air on DeGeneres' show.
Oh.
Tiny Tim.
See, that's a mockery.
Yeah.
Tiny Tim.
She says planning a wedding is very stressful.
Yeah, right. Especially when there's no groom, but
she's having the same problem, Howard. Her gardener is now invited, according to her.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I love you, pussy.
Illegal alien, but watch her get arrested at her wedding.
She says that she thinks that someday people will be looking back at this time the same way.
And remembering how annoying it was.
Yes,
no,
the
sorry,
same way they look at, the period before women could vote.
Yeah, it's really,
And segregation and saying, isn't it crazy
Why didn't she
that
get
they
married on
used
the moon?
to not let gay people get married?
Well, I agree with her.
I agree with her. Congratulations to her.
Thank you.
I think it's great.
All right.
Let's let him, what's next, though? Coyote's getting married?
Tom Brokaw will host
Peter Coyote?
Meet the Press through the November elections as he temporarily serves as the host of Tim Russert's former show.
You know why he's doing it?
Why?
Because the show has 8 million listeners.
Right.
So, he'll be the interim host. They
How
won't
sad
be
was
naming
that?
anybody new
How sad was that?
until after the election season.
Poor Tim.
Is Barack Obama the man of the hour?
All right, Belz, here you go. Is he the man of the hour?
Obama is a long-legged Mac Daddy.
Who's that?
That's his senator.
Some
his
minister.
That's his,
It's his gardener.
His gardener.
Fashion designer Donatella Versace is dedicating her 2009 spring-summer collection to the Democratic presidential candidate.
Couldn't get a better endorsement there.
The Canadian Press reports Versace called Obama the man of the moment.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
She unveiled her collection Saturday in Italy.
And then she continued talking to her chaise lounge.
So who you voting
Hey, you know
for?
what? I'm a little upset. McCain, not McCain, but one of these people that say they're for him.
Yeah.
But they have this new ad out. It says, if you want a government that's bigger, vote for the.
Oh no!
Oh no!
No, I just made that up.
Oh,
vote for the Schwarzer.
Yeah. You want
And we bought it.
my take on Obama?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I think. I feel that he, I've been in Europe lately, as you know, and nothing could be better than having a man of color, the President of the United States, because the entire world thinks we're these crazy white warmongers who...
But wait, isn't that racist? Isn't that in a way reverse racism?
Why
You're
not?
saying you're going to vote for a guy just because he's black?
No, because well, first of all, even if he was white, he'd be John Edwards. He's a really smart guy. He'll be a wonderful president. He'll surround himself with the right kind of people. John Kennedy floundered at his first few months in the office, became a great president. Abe Lincoln didn't know where he was going, became a great president. He has the goods. He's willing to change. He's not obstinate like other politicians. And he represents what America is. I think the solution to prejudice is intermarriage. He's America. You know what I mean? He's got a father and a mother of different races.
I feel you're more for him because of his race than you are for
you know
his
what?
policies.
I'm honestly not.
I'm not hearing anything about his policy. I'm hearing about his race.
Okay,
Why not Jasmine Guy as vice president?
When you object to him, I don't hear anything about his policies. I only hear about his race.
No, I've never once said anything about his race.
Now, I'm telling you what I hear.
I think
you
he's a
could hear what you
formidable.
want.
He's
I don't know what show you're listening
He's
to.
a formidable intellect.
Yeah. What if McCain
he's
became
written-
black? Would you then vote for McCain?
McCain's more dangerous than Bush in some ways.
Okay, go ahead.
And also, this thing about McCain being 71 or 72, I don't think it has anything to do with age. I know people in their 80s who are more lucid than me.
Very sharp, right?
George Carlin, 71.
George Carlin, but I mean like Gore Vidal, Jerry Lewis. I mean, these people are in their 80s and they're lucid and they have their presence of mind.
Yeah.
Did you
Anyway,
say Jerry Lewis?
what?
And
He
Gore
would be a
Vidal.
great president.
You
And
think
a
Jerry Lewis
non-pompous
is of
ass.
sound mind?
Jerry Lewis
Yes,
is
he
very
is. I
sound.
just saw him.
Okay.
No, he's very. He's
You're
a
friends
great,
with Jerry Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would he marry me?
Would he marry you?
Well, here's former Senator Tom Daschle, who says Obama wants to better use the resources we have to fight the war on terrorism. 1-1.
All right, let's hear what he has to say. Maybe he can settle all this.
What Barack has said is that we've got to fight the war on terror on a much more significant level of fronts. We've got to be in Afghanistan more effectively. We've got to be sure that we're dealing with the war on terror where it really really has generated the greatest degree of threat to the United States.
Okay, first of all, the war on terror is a myth. Terrorism's a tactic. It's not a country. Saying that you're going to defeat terrorism is like saying I'm going to change the course of a river with my hat. It's a manufactured thing by the government to keep us constantly in fear.
Well, but you have to admit that there are governments behind the terrorism, and there are actual
that's
terrorists
why we should have gone into Afghanistan,
right? Which
and
we did.
Saudi Arabia, which financed the hijack. We're all in the wrong places.
Absolutely.
But you know, terrorism is a tactic, and to say that there's a war on terror is just a way of the government controlling things forever.
Well, there's a war on the people who practice terrorism against this country.
But it's not a war.
Sure, it's a war.
No, in France, in Germany, in England, they bust these cells. They have, they work with the police, the government, the military. They go in, they get 6 or 8 guys that are going to do something, and they take them out.
It's like fighting the mafia more than it is fighting.
Right. It's not a country.
Okay. All right.
And it's a myth to say there's a war on terror.
However, former Governor Tom Ridge says that Obama will hurt Iraq's efforts by withdrawing the troops.
Don't even let him
talk. That Senator Obama's talked about. As soon as I'm elected, I'm going to start bringing troops home.
This is the pig that would do these fake alerts to get Bush's ratings up. He has no credibility.
The Iraqi people, the region, or the United States of America.
Like, if we leave, Iraq will get worse. There's millions of refugees. Most of the intelligent people have left the country.
You're saying we've wrecked the country already.
Yeah, if we leave there, it'll be better because the mullahs will police Al-Qaeda and they'll take care of their own shit. It'll be messy, but it won't be as...
You call them mullahs, or are they mullahs?
Depends. If they have a lot of mullah, they're a mullah.
All right.
If they have a mullah, they're a mullah. No, the imams, the religious leaders,
right?
They don't want the Al Qaeda is not indigenous to Iraq. We created it. We brought them there.
All right.
If we leave, it'll be messy, but it won't be like if we stay.
All right.
I promise.
All right.
Meanwhile, Senator Barack Obama says that John McCain voted down money to fund levees in the flood zones.
I'm sure they appreciated the sentiment. But they probably would have appreciated it even more if Senator McCain hadn't opposed legislation to fund levees and flood control programs, which he considers poor.
Wow. You know what's great about Obama? He's a great counterpuncher.
Right. So
when people say something, he's very bright. He wrote, if you ever read his position paper, he's really articulate. There's a vast grasp of the issue.
No one reads
position.
I know, but I'm saying
position paper?
I read 60 pages of it.
Howard was just telling me he can't be off script. That's what he said.
I read about him. That someone said. I didn't say it. They said that he has a hard time.
He's brilliant. He'll learn.
All right.
He's growing on stage.
I heard it on the Daniel Carver newsletter.
That's
I don't even know who Daniel Carver is.
I haven't made up my mind yet, but I am leaning toward Obama because of the abortion situation and the Iraq situation. So I will probably,
gay rights, abortion, the environment, health care. There's no question.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, you're just doing that to be controversial.
No, I'm waiting to hear these debates.
If you vote for McCain...
Yeah,
you won't vote for McCain.
You don't know who I'll vote for.
I know you won't vote for McCain.
Last election, I voted for Clinton 2 times. I voted for Kerry. I voted for.
You're not going to vote for McCain.
Al Gore,
because you have children. That's why you won't vote for McCain.
All right. Well, what else is in there?
Well, you don't fluff that off.
No, what am I going to say? That's your opinion. You don't know who I'm going to vote for.
You have children.
Yes.
You want to give them this debt and bad air and perpetual war? Then vote for McCain. We'll be right back.
Why don't you step outside?
I'm going to practice falling down. You come out in a minute.
All right. All right, what else is in the news?
Well, everybody's wondering about the price of gasoline. They are now saying it may have just topped out after, reaching its current level. They have been talking to the Saudi Arabians about increasing production, and King Abdullah says speculators are the problem.
Yeah.
They should share in the blame for rising oil prices. What for?
There are many factors which cause the creep of prices of oil.
If you're going to fuck us, learn our language, please. Jesus Christ.
Well, there you go.
Raghead.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That's very racist.
Very racist. They subjugate women. They oppress women. They hate Jews. They hate Christians. They finance the 9/11. Yeah, I'm really friendly with them.
With their tactics.
What? fucking little boys and having offshore accounts because your religion's against making money?
You don't have to call him a raghead.
No, I didn't mean. Did I say raghead? I'm sorry, that slipped out. I meant diaper head.
I'll tell all these pussies complaining about gas prices how I handled the price of gas going up. I made more money.
Wow, there's
That's what
solution.
I fucking get off your ass.
Yeah, you know what's great is in France, gas is like $8 million a gallon.
Right.
But you can eat off the streets. You have health care. You have beautiful schools. All the buildings are pristine.
Oh, Mr. France.
Well, Mr. Logic.
Well, I don't know. Mr. France.
Would you pay 50 cents more at the pump to have clean air and good schools and more
I got to pay
healthcare?
more at the pump to get that stuff? I don't have to pay enough.
You never drove a car in your fucking life.
Who's in France? It's you and R. Crumb sitting around bitching about America.
All right, let's go.
Very astute.
Bill Richardson says more Saudi oil could only help the situation.
Help.
It's a welcome step because by putting more oil on the market, you deal with the supply and demand issue more effectively.
The electric car.
Yeah, what
the
about
electric
that? Where
car.
Is that? Where is that electric
it's
car?
there. You know, when I was on the radio in 1978, a guy came out and had a car that got 80 to 90 miles a gallon.
Go ahead.
On gasoline.
Right.
And it was a big announcement, right?
Right.
4 days later, GM gave him $5 million, and you never heard about it
to go
again.
away. Yeah.
They've done that for years. Anytime anybody comes up with something.
But why wouldn't GM want a car that...
Gas. Why wouldn't
are they getting the gas profits?
They get
just
more.
interested in selling cars.
The oil. Oil. Yes.
Yeah.
They make tons of money off that.
All right.
And to convert to electric vehicles would cost them so much. You know, it's all about money.
That's the point. It's
converting.
the conversion.
But now it's easier than ever. They have no excuse anymore.
All right, let's keep going.
right.
Representative Ed Markey says the U.S.
Ross's
became
wife
more
converted.
dependent on foreign oil under the Republican Congress.
We've gone from 46% dependence when the Republicans took over the House and Senate in 1995 to 61% dependence upon imported oil today.
From this day forward, to friend and foe alike, we will bear any burden, pay any price.
You really think you should be making jokes about a serious topic like this? Go ahead. Please, Robin.
Amy Winehouse, we were talking about this earlier today. It has been announced that she has damaged her lungs by smoking crack cocaine.
I'm shocked. Are you
and
shocked?
cigarettes.
It's only the sexiest thing I've ever fucking heard.
That's said. Got a beautiful voice.
Does she?
She's in the early stages of emphysema and has an irregular heartbeat.
Imagine this girl's like in her early 20s and she's already that fucked up.
I blame the people around her.
She makes Belushi and you look like pikers.
She's been warned that she will have to wear an oxygen mask unless she stops smoking drugs now.
I'm all for that.
That's hot. Ever bang a girl in an oxygen mask, Artie?
Yes.
Belzer.
Fruit on. Imagine her on stage.
That's perfect. That's perfect version.
I don't want to go to Could someone take off my oxygen mask?
You'll die. I told her to put a second oxygen mask on in case the first one fell off. You know. She's a bit of a butterface.
Only 24 years old, she collapsed at her North London home on Monday after signing autographs for a group of fans.
That made me collapse.
And was taken to a London hospital for tests. She remained there all week.
Belz, come on. You got your microphone buried in your arm. I'm
sorry, honey.
What are you doing?
That was the start to my $400 shirt.
Her father is pleading with her friends, her drug-taking friends, to stay away from her and leave her alone.
You know what? When I was 24, a doctor told me I had pre-cirrhosis or some shit. I'm still here. She's fine.
And then he kills over. But you know, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
I'm waiting for that.
Meanwhile, you cut to Artie. He's got an IV in him. And
I promised Howard I would die on the air, and I'm going to do it.
He's going to do it.
Get ready for this. This is one of the strangest stories I've ever told on the air. A 7-year-old boy in the Czech Republic was found chained in the cellar of his home, where his family kept him and abused him in a very perverse way.
It's the Czech Republic.
Can we kill these people? I'm against the death penalty, except in cases like that.
Confined as his family would eat parts of him.
You want to kill the kid?
Oh, wow. Like what parts? Oh, my God. That's awful.
The child has been partially skinned.
Oh, my God.
These other
I don't want to hear any more of this.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't need that.
Yeah, you know what, Robin?
Well, I'm just
we don't need. Thank you, Robin.
Our crazy
We
stuff
don't.
in the world.
And please, no sound effects. Come on.
I want to talk.
What do you mean? They cut off like his hand?
Yeah, they would skin. They would just like strip his skin off and eat it raw because they were members of a cannibalistic cult.
My God in heaven.
Cannibals have the decency to kill and cook.
Right.
These aren't cannibals.
These are bad cannibals.
They're schmanibals.
You call those schmanibles?
Schmanibles.
You're saying a man who eats someone while they're still alive is a schmanible. Is there such a thing as a raw food cannibal? A rannibal?
Well, there are some. They don't call them vegan. They call them human.
Human.
So yeah, that's what they're dealing with.
Let's all retreat to our nice, cushy life and forget about it. You guys are
I know.
Let's talk more about Mark Consuelos' tale.
Yeah, can I put my head back in the sand, please?
Ripa's husband?
My head is in the sand.
What did you say?
I said my head is in the sand.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to hear about that.
I don't either. Go ahead, Robin.
Jamie Lynn Spears has had her child.
I wish those people would eat Amy Winehouse.
Really? Well, I wish they'd eat Jamie Lynn Spears.
I have my oxygen mask on and I'm being eaten.
I wish they'd eat Kim Kardashian. Benji.
The 17-year-old is now a mom, and they have named her daughter Maddie.
You know who I sound like? Gamarian Guard and Amy Winehouse and the Cannibals.
Meanwhile, did you hear about the
cannibals? I told you.
Teenagers in Massachusetts who had a pregnancy pact?
Yeah, well, go ahead, Robin.
We were wondering if you were going to do this story.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my head out of the sand. Hold on.
Thank you.
They're blaming things like
missed you.
Jamie Lynn Spears,
right? Juno
for
glorifying teen pregnancy,
influencing young girls to think that it's cool to become pregnant.
Belzer goes to me. You know what I think? You know who started all this? I go, yeah, Britney Spears' sister. He goes, oh, I thought I was so original. I go, that's what they're saying.
I live in, you know where I live.
You live in France.
In a foreign country.
Yeah, but a woman is better off having a kid a little, not too young, but younger. You know?
Well, these are 15 and 16-year-old girls.
Yeah, that's too young.
That's too young.
I would like to do an impression of Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
And Richard
as
Belzer as the number 11.
As the Gamorrean Guard.
Go ahead.
I don't want to go to rehab.
A little English accent there.
There you go.
Very nice.
All right, go ahead. For those of you tuning in, we have no idea what he's doing either.
No, well, you don't know who Gamorrean
Well, you're not.
Guard
You're
is.
64 years old. You wouldn't know.
Not yet. Don't push it.
Do you know what Gamorrean Guard is?
It's a venereal disease.
Right. Okay. It's a deodorant.
At this one school, they usually averaged about 4 pregnant teens a year, and this year it shot up to 17.
It's a deodorant for nerds.
Right.
And what they eventually discovered was that there was some kind of pregnancy pact among some of the girls, and they noticed this when the school nurse said that she'd do pregnancy tests on girls, and when the pregnancy test came back negative, the girls were sad.
Oh,
they were upset that they weren't.
17 teenage girls made a pact to get pregnant.
Well, they didn't say all 17, but a lot of the girls.
What is the ethnic breakdown, Robin? That's what I want.
That's a really good. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I want to know that.
Well, how am I supposed to know that? They don't have that in this article.
11 Samoans.
On every story,
11 Samoans.
On every story, you should know the ethnic breakdown.
Right.
What is it?
One of the dads is supposedly a homeless guy.
Yeah, they said that like a homeless guy.
So that doesn't make him a bad.
So he's black.
All right,
No,
Roddy, that's it. I've had it with the veiled racism.
But they said this is really irrational, poor judgment on the part of teenagers.
Well, really?
Since you're taking a homeless
What genius
guy.
said that?
No, they said this is the risky kind of behavior in adolescent mind.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
can't blame the kids.
What?
You can't blame them.
Right.
I'm not blaming
Wait till you
them.
see. I'm not yelling at you.
Explain to you,
Robin, I'm talking about what you're reading, not you.
All right,
Robin,
go ahead.
But I'm
go to your
trying
room.
to
Go to your room.
Get another tattoo.
I'm trying to explain to you that what they're saying is this is the result of poor sex education in school.
Now you've said something.
Thank you. I got the clap. But I've always...
Good Lord, you can't get a word out.
Sorry, but SVU obviously will be doing this story.
By the way,
yes, it'll be on next week.
See Richard Belzer this Thursday night, and next Thursday night at 8 o'clock on Last Comic Standing on NBC. He is a celebrity judge. Anything else, Robin, in the news we should know about?
Absolutely. What was I going to say here? Oh, Naomi Campbell. She's back on the catwalk. In Italy, the more she gets into trouble with the police, the more work she gets, it seems to me.
I'll tell you what, I know she's mean.
She does look fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know you say, she's horrible. She throws her BlackBerry at her help. But boy, does she look pretty.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a young broad
It
anymore.
excuses a lot.
In your thin mind.
Yes, exactly. And I have one of the thinnest minds around.
But you know, she
not thinner than mine.
She is defending herself now after that outbreak at the airport. You know,
with what, mace?
Which she her latest troubles. She says she was called a gollywog.
What does that mean?
It is a reference to a black-faced rag doll.
Bullshit.
So
he called me a gollywog. I had to
She was saying it's racism.
I had to hit the bloke.
They called her, she says, a gollywog supermodel, but British Air is denying that there was any racial slur.
Is anything really an insult if it's followed with supermodel?
I'll tell you what, she could chain up her kids and eat them raw.
I don't want any more of those jokes on. Hey, Howard, come on. All right, let me just say one more thing. Let me just say one more thing. Or a couple more things. One, please
don't eat your children.
Don't eat your children.
Right. Two,
unless they eat you first.
Right. Number
That's
two,
very important.
you want to say?
I want to say, think about rescuing a dog. Don't use pet shops.
Number three.
Number three, I will be appearing in New York.
Oh, you're leaving?
For the first. No, I'm just telling you where I'm appearing. I'm plugging.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Can I plug?
Go ahead. Yeah.
On July 19th.
Yeah.
At Comics.
What is
Nightclub in Manhattan. COMIX.
I know that club. Yes.
I will be appearing there.
All right.
With my band.
A band?
Band?
Yes.
You're going into music?
Well, no, I'm doing comedy, but I have backup.
And you sing?
And well, I do, you know.
What, do they play while you're telling jokes?
And I want you to, you haven't seen me, what, since 1982?
I think 1947
yeah.
I saw you.
You remember that? On the Dumont Network. Why don't you come with your new bow?
Okay, we'll
the best
do that.
special
Artie,
you did was that one after Hulk Hogan dropped you on your head. That was the funniest thing I ever fucking saw.
I'm going to start doing that again.
It's such a good bit. He did a routine.
Yeah.
It was on HBO. It was so funny, Belzer. After the lawsuit, after everything, he recounts what happened to him with this.
I'll do that on the 19th.
Oh, my God. It's so
come.
good. That's such a good bit. You ever seen that, Artie?
Yes, I know what
Funny
you're talking about. And it's relevant again now because Hulk Hogan.
I know. I have to dust that bit.
You might have to dust that
Thank
off.
God I
don't know why you're working so hard.
Yeah.
Anything else, Robin?
Yes. Do you think it's a good idea? Christy Brinkley went to court to make sure that her divorce would be public.
Yes, she wants to humiliate her husband.
But this is the father of her children.
That's how blinded she is, and that's how much he hurt her.
Is this a fight over money, Robin?
Well, I'm sure it is, and it would be her money that she's trying to protect, I'm sure.
Right.
Because
that's why she's doing it. She's trying to embarrass him so that he'll settle the suit.
Excuse me, Anne Hesh has to pay money to her husband.
That's
right. But she lost custody.
But she has no money.
She has no custody.
Where's she going to get?
Well, she's on TV.
She has no money. She was working.
Not everyone is paid what you are on that show.
They're not?
No. I have other people make big money.
More than $400 or $500 clear?
Yeah.
By the way, I think she was just added to another show. She got another job.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry about her. Don't cry for her.
She's in big pictures.
But yes, she wants it known that her husband was a sexaholic who surfed the web for porn sites.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's hoping that embarrasses him enough, I suppose, that he'll stop fighting her.
Right.
Who doesn't do that?
Right.
Nobody married to Christy Brinkley, apparently.
All right. Anything else, Robin?
I am so happy to report that a number of these American Idol kids are losing their record contracts.
Makes me happy. I don't think that's the way to get in the music business. Rolling Stones didn't start that way. Bruce Springsteen didn't start that way. For God's sakes, Rush didn't start that way.
Rod Stewart used to sleep on subways.
Right.
Well, Blake Lewis becomes the latest artist to be dropped by Arista Records.
Fred has not lost his touch.
He should be eaten by his family.
I don't want to hear that anymore.
He joins Idol winners Taylor Hicks and Ruben Studdard, who, along with runner-up Catherine McPhee, were also cut loose this last year.
Wow.
And so was Paul Reiser. He was cut loose.
Paul Reiser?
I just have one question.
Yes.
Where is Paul Reiser now? I may have been
retired from that.
I may have been a drunken MC.
He's spending his $200 million he got from Mad About You.
You know what he does? He gets on his knees every day and thanks God for Helen Hunt.
Yeah, that's true. You know, he's got to be. You want to hear about a great story in show business? He had a deal where he always had to get paid as much as Helen Hunt.
Right.
No matter
Little
what.
did he know.
Yeah, so she wins the Oscar, and her agents get her $1 million an episode.
Her price skyrocketed
for the last season.
Fantastic.
Isn't that great?
That's great.
And he had points. She's got to be worth $200 $200 million, right?
That's right.
Richard Lewis is playing comics with me and Richard Belzer.
Did you know this was happening, Howard?
It's better to steal a guy.
Amazed.
What, Paul Reiser's in France with Belzer's wife?
Oh, my Christ on a cracker.
Horrible.
You leave for 1 minute.
That the Marvel people, the whole idea behind putting out all these movies is eventually they're going to put together a team.
Yes.
Of superheroes that do movies together and separately?
It is going to be one of the greatest franchises. They have so many great
brilliant.
stories. They own so many great stories, even as a kid.
What took them so long? This is the first movie they produced.
Isn't it amazing? But
Iron Man's great.
Iron Man's great, and the Hulk, I'm dying to see it. I haven't been...
John Favreau says the team lineup has changed throughout the years, but the ones Marvel is talking about now are Captain America... Hulk.
You think that asshole Favreau would give me a copy of the Hulk? He's got a copy to lend me.
Captain Marvel.
What's the matter with that guy?
Ant-Man.
Are they doing are they doing Speech Impediment Man? Are they doing Captain Marvel?
No, they're doing Captain America.
Captain Marvel, they're not doing. It's Captain America.
Oh. Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Ant-Man, and Iron Man.
I'm not a big Thor guy. I read all the Thors, but we'll
Howard,
see.
Are you ever think of making a feature film again?
I've thought about it.
Because I have an idea for you.
Really?
I'll tell you when we wrap.
I'm busy.
So I think
that hurts.
Why are you not working on your paragraph to come to the wedding? Why are you standing here?
Why are you
because I have
here?
6 writers. Feverishly, I've already texted them.
I don't know.
Larry
Ant-Man.
Gelbart is working.
Yes, Ralph. What do you want?
Well, Marvel just got the rights back because they were in bankruptcy and sold off all their rights and stuff. That's why.
Oh, that's why. Thank you.
That's why. And I got to say, Belzer, so fucking great on the air, and it's so great to hear him hanging out again.
It is great.
It's been a long time.
The Bells. It's always good to have the
I miss
Bells.
Howard and the.
Why don't you come on more often?
Because I'm never invited.
Because
fuck you. Fuck you.
Ever since he got Munch, he's thinks he's a superstar.
No, Munched.
Yeah.
Bell should do an hour by himself.
Well, don't get carried away.
Howard, I got it.
You want to do an hour by yourself?
Howard
put you on one
radio.
Night. No, I'll put you on one night.
Okay.
How's $100 sound?
Talk about all your wacky theories and stuff.
Yeah,
they're not so wacky anymore, are they, my friend?
He's obviously been proven right.
Could somebody tell me who Ant-Man is? I don't know.
Ant-Man
He's that gay guy who said
Ant-Man. Ant-Man's here.
Ant-Man.
You know that nose he's got? Oh.
Ant-Man is a superhero in the Marvel family.
Yes.
Who, as you know, can be reduced to the size of an ant, but like an ant, he can literally
lift thousands of pounds over
8 times his body weight when he's that small. So he could go on, like, remember the mission where those people got shrunk and went into a human body?
Yeah.
And stuff like that?
Yes.
Ant-Man can do anything.
Voyage.
Ant-Man can go on a microscopic level and get shit done.
He can go into airport customs and crawl up someone's ass and see if they're smuggling.
He's essentially invisible. He can
See
fly.
where I go with that?
He's like the size of a fly, but super powerful.
Ouch.
He's Ant-Man. And he can communicate with ants.
And his enemy is Uncle Man.
Right.
Amazing.
Anything else?
Yes, the #1 movie at the box office this weekend was Get Smart.
He could go into Cindy Margolis's pussy.
Yeah.
And she would never even know he was in there and then get out. That's
Who are you talking about? Ant-Man?
Ant-Man, yeah.
Oh.
Ant-Man.
Get Smart took first place with $39.1 million, according to the studio estimates.
Yeah.
Belzer would have been good for that film.
The Hall, about $5 million more
99?
than expected.
Right.
So they did very well.
It's interesting that he's doing a movie. Excuse me, Artie. He's doing a movie of a character that most people that are going to see the movie never even heard of.
Right.
Get Smart.
That's
And
right.
it was done brilliantly.
Yeah. It was.
The first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it's like brand new to most people.
Anything else, Robin?
So that was #1. Love Guru, the Mike Myers.
#4.
Was #4.
You got to read a review of that. The one reviewer said, after you see this movie, you don't think you can ever laugh again. That is one of the best, worst reviews. Is that the greatest line you ever heard? Especially if you're a comic.
He's saying you could ruin your ability to laugh.
Can't even
Can you
laugh.
imagine saying that?
No,
One
I
of
can't.
the funniest bad
Jesus
reviews I've
God in
ever
heaven.
read was the comedian Ellen Cleghorn fucked herself because her sitcom on the WB was named Cleghorn, but at the end of it was an exclamation point.
Right.
So the headline in the review was Cleghorn, exclamation point. Awful exclamation.
Anything else, Robin?
Here's Jessica Alba from Love Guru talking about Mike Myers' childlike qualities.
Yeah, well, maybe it's time to grow up.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
What number, Robin?
211.
211. Okay, I can make that happen in 1 second.
Get some help.
people, certainly adults, who have had as much success
What is she, 90?
and has the responsibility that he has. And they aren't really tapped into.
I'm bored.
Just boring from the gun.
Yeah.
The Love Guru made $14 million in hits.
And that was just the craft services.
Belzer can make that a night doing stand-up.
That's right.
Right.
So,
There you go.
are you aware of those Jonas brothers?
No.
Yeah.
No.
They're a huge deal on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, the wrestlers,
Just
right?
No. Just like Hannah Montana, they're brothers who sing
Hanna-Barbera.
together.
But you know...
And apparently they did something called Camp Rock.
Yeah, they're on the unlistenable label.
Wish I said that.
Well, they
Don't worry, you will.
averaged
Remember
an
that?
audience of 8.9 million viewers in the premiere on Friday.
Wow.
And those are mega
Of
numbers.
mentally challenged people?
Mega numbers.
Be quiet.
They're so funny.
You better be quiet. They're thinking of putting Detective Munch on that.
Oh, no.
Makes it the
Jonas Munch. I wish their parents would eat those Jonas Munch.
Makes the channel the
I'm
number
warning you,
2
Howard.
movie. Better than 2006 High School Musical, but well behind the juggernaut High School Musical.
Have you seen High School Musical?
No, I won't see that.
Have you?
I watched it with some
What's
kids,
the
yeah.
attraction? Is it...
They love the kids on, they identify, they like the music. Boys and girls love it. They sing the songs.
No,
I don't need to see that to know
all the
I
boys
hate
are going to turn out gay, but I've always felt that a person... Am I gay? When I was in high school, I had Judy Garland's album.
Yes, you
I did, I swear.
Yes,
that's why you
I
got a
wore it
blowjob.
out. I wore it out.
Anything
Angelina
else?
Jolie is going to be in a new movie called Wanted.
Yeah, there ain't nothing gay about her, Robin.
3-1 is Angelina explaining what appealed to her about this role.
Foxy, finally. I've been doing some serious films and I love them and I will continue to do them. But
please.
But every once in a while I miss.
Adopt another.
I miss this. I miss the
whatever you
action
call
movie.
them.
I miss playing and shooting things up. I get to be.
You know what? I think she's great. I think she created such a great image for Hollywood.
Well,
with her philanthropy and her husband, they're great.
Absolutely.
They're
Absolutely.
great.
She's doing well. She cleaned herself up.
All right.
Anything else?
And the daytime Emmys happened while we were away. Here's Ellen DeGeneres accepting the Outstanding Talk Show Host Award, 2-1.
She's great, isn't she? She's the Outstanding Talk Show.
Yeah,
right.
Here's Ellen accepting the Best Person Ever award.
I know you're counting me down, but it's the longest day of the year I just read, so I can go on. And
funny shit. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh,
that's why
God
she's so
damn.
popular.
Whoa. Oh, hold on, Robin. I got to catch my...
Did she dance at all?
You may never laugh
Wow.
Anything else?
Wow.
Here's Tyra Banks, who accepts the Informative Talk Show.
I want to thank Oprah Winfrey for the inspiration. She is the queen and will always be
She's
the
a
queen.
queen, all right.
All right, anything else?
She didn't win something.
Did Rachel Ray win, I hope? No, I like Rachel.
Yes, Rachel Way did. Rachel
Does
Way did
I
win.
like Does anybody lose at the daytime? I mean, it sounds like everyone got an award.
Regis Philbin won a Lifetime Achievement Award, 2-3.
What a night. Tyra Banks told me to kiss a big beautiful, and then I found out that I'm older than the guiding light. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's got Ellen's writers.
Oh. All right.
You know, they carbon dated Regis.
I'm older than the guiding light.
I love it. Regis is the greatest.
And here's Ellen, 2-6. Ellen planning a dream wedding.
Oh, God.
All right, 2-6.
Yeah.
It is the dream wedding. We have things that are happening that are just unbelievable. It's very exciting. Just incredible
All right.
people singing and things happening.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's
You mean like a wedding? She's having a wedding.
Well, it's incredible to think. Did
Yeah,
you
the
think
people
that
are
when
gonna
she
be
was
singing.
a little gay woman growing up, do you think she ever thought she'd have a
She'd
wedding?
never have a
You know
wedding.
what?
You know, come on.
I'm going to not slam that anymore.
All right.
Congratulations, Ellen. And God bless you, and God bless Tiny Tim.
You know what I just saw from 1986? Belzer's he hosted HBO's Young Comedian special for Catch in New York. But that same special has a young Ellen DeGeneres trying to be like heterosexual.
Talking about guys she went out with.
and it's so weird looking. It's creepy. Like she's talking about her boyfriend and everything.
Oh, that's funny. I'd like to hear that.
You know what? It's so great that she doesn't have to do that anymore.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Robin?
Here's
that's
Ellen
going
again
too far.
talking about the legalization of gay marriage is long overdue.
obviously, I feel like it's long overdue, and I think someday people will look back on this like women not having the right to vote. and segregation and anything else that seems ridiculous, that we don't all have the same rights, that we're not all the same.
All right.
Here. No, she's right.
All right,
And
I
a little
agree. We
bit
heard
of
that.
Naomi Campbell. I told you she said that they called her names at British Airways.
What about her family, the soup? Aren't they embarrassed about the brand?
I thought that was Nev
British
Campbell.
Airways is disgusting, she said.
I apologize profusely to the Metropolitan Police. As for British Airways, I don't apologize. I just think they're disgusting.
They're highly
And she says they need to apologize to her.
British Airways have a lot of apologies.
A lot.
Not me.
Me.
To thousands of people.
Just because I shit in my hand and slapped the stewardess in the face, there's no reason to expel me from the airplane.
You shit in her head?
Shit in her hand and slapped her in the
you shit in her
face.
hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
She called me a scallywag.
Yeah. And I don't cotton to that. Pardon the expression.
All right, anything else, Robin?
And finally this morning, I guess Al Roker's taking over some kind of Family Feud.
He's the host of Family Feud.
Oh,
That's horrible.
I watched Regis doing Password. I liked it last night.
He's great.
I was watching, they have Super Celebrity Password. It was pretty
I know,
good.
I've
Let's
seen
do it.
a
You want to
little
do it,
bit
you
of
and I?
No, I don't want to do that.
I don't do good in those kind of things.
I crack under pressure.
Well, I guess they're going to have a celebrity family feud, and it will feature celebs like Kathy Lee Gifford, Ice-T, comedian Bill Engvall.
Ice-T?
And
My
the
man.
host will be Al Roker.
Al told us that when he was here, he was hosting that. That's a great gig.
One of the best things, you've done a lot of good things, but one of your great moments is when you had actors read the transcripts of Frank Gifford's trice.
Oh, that was great.
That
You're
was
right.
brilliant.
I should do that again.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, you should be.
It's one of my best moments.
Yeah, I'll say
anything else, Robin?
After 4 years, you got to get one out of
Belzer, it's time for you to go.
Where am I going?
You have appointments to get to.
I have to go walk my dog.
All right.
Adopt a dog.
And let me
watch Last Comic Standing.
Right.
And come to comics on July 19th.
Don't adopt a dog if you don't want to.
No, that goes without saying.
See Belzer this Thursday night and next Thursday
People
night.
just listen to you, Belz. They'll
8 o'clock on Last Comic Standing on NBC. And depending on his paragraph, Belzer may be appearing at my wedding.
My writers are vaxing me now.
And the wedding will be at Kay Ballard's Cunt, right in here, right with me. Hello.
Don't you think that place is a little too big?
It's going to be too big.
Too big, you think?
Yeah,
too big a hall?
Too big.